Face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
All right, this is going to be a quick review of Challengers and The Fall Guy. I'm just going to put them together. Just because with Fall Guy, it's a pretty simple movie, action comedy, rom-com. Yeah, it's a action romance comedy. It's like all balled together. It's actually pretty much an ode to action movies and kind of film itself and storytelling and shit like that. And they're pointing out little things that that are like things you might notice when watching some of these other famous movies that are mentioned in it. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And there's some funny stuff in there, and it's like a movie. Like, here's the interesting thing. The most interesting thing about the movie to me is that it's a movie kind of about making a movie, and they're making the movie as they're making the movie. Let me word that better. The characters are making a movie in the movie, but the movie the characters are making in the movie is what the movie is about. The Fall Guy movie. That's what it's actually about. I'm like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool. And the idea of is this little hero's journey thing with Ryan Gosling, and he has to go from being like the unknown backup nobody guy to actually living, like being the lead hero in the movie. Not only the movie, but then also the movie. Not only the Fall Guy movie, but also the movie within the movie. He's like the hero, right? They pay homage to fucking stuntmen and shit like that. Like, oh, it's a cool, cute movie. It's even if you don't take movies that seriously, I'm sure you'll have fun with that one. Quick grade. I'd give it a 7.5. 7.5. I mean, for me, that means average, right? My average means 7.5. So I'll say it's it's an all right movie. All right, it had some elements that I like, that I enjoyed about it. But not, it's not going to blow you away with storytelling or anything really. It's just going to be funny, action scenes, and a cool little story about love and the little guy, the underdog, coming back and finding out like, oh, that guy's the actual hero. This dude pretending to be the hero is a full of shit dude. The actual hero is this guy who has to do all the hard work that this guy can't do, that the main guy can't do. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I appreciate shit like that. Moving on. Challengers. Now, this movie was fucking interesting. Starring Zendaya, however the fuck you say your name. I thought this was an excellent movie. I thought it was. Now, walking into it, I'm expecting honestly, a teen drama bullshit. Like, fuck, why am I watching this? Then I saw some of the grades that were coming out. It was getting like a 7.8 or 9 on IMDb. It's getting a 90 something on Rotten Tomatoes. And maybe that is the teen appeal, right? Because Zendaya is like a cultural figure for young people. And there's a lot of racy sexual shit in here. She shows her ass or something, Random dudes making out, weird shit like that happens. Weird sexual things happen in here. But I think there was a point to it. Like, I thought it was very archetypal of what the role Zendaya plays and the role of the two guys that are kind of competing for her. But they both love her, and they're weird. Like, one's in like a weird twisted way and one's in a more traditional way, but they both are into her. And honestly, since they're best friends, they're into each other. That actually maybe more literal than like, there's a scene with the dark haired dude where he's in like a locker room and he's like on Tinder or some shit like that, right? And he's swiping through profile pictures of these hot chicks. Then a dude pops up and he stops for a sec. He pauses there. He's like, oh. Then he just keeps swiping again after that. Like, oh, you're trying to say something there. I mean, while he's in a men's locker room with a bunch of naked dudes and shit. I'm just saying. Uh, Jeez, but the most interesting thing about the movie to me was definitely the archetypal thing. Of you have more of the clean cut traditional guy and the absolute mess chaos bringer, right? But neither one is like, it's weird. They didn't make one weak and one strong over the other. They have their weaknesses and strengths, but they kind of like matched each other with their own particular personalities, right? One would be try to be more intimidating and try to like not, violently threaten, but more of a, I'm gonna wreck you emotionally. But this other dude, the blonde haired dude's like, nah, you can't do that. Like, I already know your game, and I'm good at being me type of thing. Like, I'm good at being kind of like a golden boy type of thing, right? And Zendaya is like the one negotiating both of these characters, and, and honestly, especially based on the end of the movie, the point was to, kind of, she's kind of manipulating both of them to reach max potential. Right? So everything she does, it seems like it looks like a plan. Like as I'm watching it early in the movie, it seems like it's a scheme or a plan. I don't know what the end goal is, but there seems to be like some sort of plan there with what she's doing to these two characters. And at the very end of the movie, when these guys, end up facing off against each other in this tournament in tennis, right? The last, action of tennis scene, this dude's like, they end up meeting at the net and hugging, in the middle of someone trying to like hit the tennis ball. End up meeting in the middle and hugging because like they're supposed to be like, I don't know. It's like a Joker Batman dynamic, not good guy bad guy, but dynamic of like, oh, you complete me. I'm an unstoppable force. You're an immovable object. Whatever, right? We're meant to do this forever. That's what they're, I think, representing archetypally with these characters. And Zendaya is the happiest person in the crowd when those two hug. She's like, oh, this is what I want. It's not one or the other. It's both. Both of these things that represent these archetypes of, if you want to go Star Wars, the light and the dark. It's not good and evil. It's light and dark. One's a mess who lives a little rough of a life. Yeah, one's the polished dude that is, uh, gets everything right. He follows the rules. He's following Zendaya's like instructions that takes him to the top, and he's the best tennis player in the world at some point. And the other dude's like, fuck your rules. Like, I'm gonna be a mess and do what I want, and but I'm still gonna stay attached to you. As much as I put up a front of trying to be, rebellious against this force called Zendaya, he's still vulnerable to it. Very much so. Uh, so I just thought that was an interesting dynamic. Sorry, someone like entered the call and started talking. Threw me off a bit. But whatever. It's an interesting dynamic of characters and the shit I look for in film. I love symbolism. I love when you turn the characters into representing ideas, like a yin yang thing, which is mainly what these characters are doing: light and dark, yin yang, uh, order and chaos, if you will. And then a character that's negotiating it, whether it's those two yin yang archetypes, or it's someone that's negotiating those two as like a part of their world. That was kind of Zendaya, who I think recognized these two differences. So maybe she's the ultimate, archetype, where she has dominion over both of these yin yang characters, and she's trying to move them into a sense of cohesion or harmony, to where it's like, oh no, this is supposed to be harmonious. That makes like Black Swan, the perfect. Oh, I'm perfect. Right when Nina mashes the light and dark, or White Swan and Black Swan together to become, I was perfect. And that's what Zendaya was kind of manipulating these characters into being, in a way. But it was, and they were fucking with her too. So I'm not gonna leave her completely out of that. But she was definitely the mastermind of all this from the jump. From meeting these fools, she was already playing that manipulation thing. So yeah, for all the details, I'd recommend go watching the movie. Usually with good movies, try not to spoil too hard. I don't know. I just go watch the movie and tell me if you see what I'm seeing, because I thought it was fucking awesome. Is it the greatest thing ever? No. I've seen the concepts before. Like I said, Black Swan did the yin yang concept. Uh, different dynamics colliding with each other and then having to negotiate both of them, whether it's one character representing that, like Nina, or it's multiple characters, like in Challengers. It's I'm curious if you see that there, and obviously I find that fucking awesome. All right, grade. Oh, by the way, with Fall Guy, I recommend it. I recommend it if you just want to have fun, eat some popcorn, and also feel a little bit. Get some feels from it. So it's a cool movie in that way. But for this movie, I 2000% recommend. If you miss out on Fall Guys, you miss out on it. At Challengers, I'd be like, yo, go see that shit. I know there's gonna be some of the teeny bopper shit, or not teeny bopper, but like Euphoria style, like weird sexual things all up in there. Young people, weird sex things. But that's the culture that this movie is like shaped around. So it doesn't bother me, honestly. You can get past that part, and you'll see a pretty good movie. So yes, I 2000% recommend. As for a grade, and this grade could go up, honestly. But as of now, I'm giving it a 7.8, which is a pretty good grade for me. On my scale, that's above average. That means you're pretty good. That means you're worth watching, which means there's something there that's redeeming. In fact, there's something there that makes you want to go watch it again, which I probably will do. Probably later, right? When it's out on DVD or not DVD, whatever, streaming services or whatever the fuck. When it's out, I'll probably watch it again. But yeah, this grade could easily go up, because I think a second watching, I'll notice some of the a little bit more details that the filmmaker was going for that maybe you miss out on a first viewing, and hopefully it makes me appreciate it more. The elements are there; they're 100% there. It's just maybe he went into even more detail with those elements, those archetypes, the yin yang thing, even like I don't want to say Christ-like thing, but it's like a loving battle between. I don't know. I'm not going to go there. I'll leave that out. But these elements are there. They are there. I just want to say, hey, maybe he goes into even more detail of something I made or something I missed about those archetypes that are in the film. So, like I said, yeah, this grade could go up 100%. I think the ceiling is like 8. That's the ceiling. But 8 is a really good grade on my scale. That's a very good grade. So there you have it. There's my review of The Fall Guy and Challengers. Go check it out.